Big 12 Media Days. Arizona State. They put an end to preseason polls. They did one thing right on their way to winning a Big 12 championship. It was that picked dead last a year ago. Young team, young head coach, and all they did was head to the college football playoff in their first year in the Big 12 conference. Cam Skattebo is gone, but Sam Leavitt, Jordan Tyson, the stars at receiver and quarterback are back, which sets the table for Kenny Dillingham and the Sun Devils. And with that, welcome back. That is Kenny Dillingham. That is an all-time great from Arizona State. Brock Osweiler. I'm in a Hall of Fame in the broadcasting school. That's just Greg McElroy. When three Sun Devils walk into a bar, what happens? Kenny, good seeing you. How have things changed from 365 days ago till now?
If people are saying good things, they say we're good instead of we suck. The reality is none of it matters. I think that's the best part about sports is you restart every year. What you did last year is absolutely irrelevant to what you have to do this next year. So that's the fun part. That's what the good programs do. They restart.
When you talk about the restart and a season that Sam told me a few weeks ago, he believes that the turn started in the Kansas State game, that's really when the season started to become special. How does that momentum and the leadership you have coming back settle in that last year's gone and now the expectations have gone from who were they to we belong here?
Yeah, I think it's never comfortable. I think success isn't comfortable, failure isn't comfortable. I think at the end of the day, if you're a competitor, you're never comfortable. You're always striving to be better. And I think that was the message to the guys is who cares what the narrative is. If you're satisfied or comfortable with where you're at, you're really a competitor. Competitors want to be better, regardless of how good you are. So I think that's the message. That's the whole goal of this season is who knows if we're going to win the Big 12? Who knows if we're going to win one game? We go 0-12. It's college football. What is the best version of this ASU football team? That's all I care about, the best version of us.
But what
you don't get to go. Brock gets to go
that's
next.
Fine. My sister, by the way, does have an Arizona State degree.
Okay,
so
you're just next.
It's
But
kind of
Brock
in the family. It's in the family.
I like it. Let's jump to Alabama, guys. Coach, a season ago, especially early on in the year, everybody was talking about Cam Skattebo. And when you turned on the Sun Devils, you could see that he was really the focal point of the offense. And that's what allowed Sam Leavitt to grow. And if you watch him from September to when he was going toe-to-toe with Texas in the Peach Bowl, he just significantly got better and better and better each week. What have you seen from him since that Peach Bowl, now that he knows he is the guy? Because this time last year, he was going into a quarterback battle. So what have you seen in his maturation process and his leadership, and how is he taking the reins of this offense?
Yeah, I think, I brought him in and I said, listen, we got to be more efficient. You got to become a more efficient passer. You're dynamic, you're explosive, you're hard to sack, you throw the ball vertically down the field well. And I think sometimes, you guys know playing quarterback, we leaned on Scat so much that Sam was like our get-out-of-jail-free card. But we did a poor job getting him in rhythm on early downs because it was either get Sam in a rhythm or hand the ball to Scat. And that sometimes hinders a quarterback at the same time as having a good running game. So this year was all about early down efficiency. All spring ball, we probably threw the ball 10x, 5x what we did last spring ball because it was about early down efficiency for our quarterback, being able to get him in a rhythm, being able to control those downs that we're losing in Scat. And I think that's been the challenge I've had to him. And if we can have early down consistency, he may be the only Sun Devil to beat your 4,000-yard record for most yards thrown in Sun Devil history.
I didn't know you were allowed to throw it on first and second down. That's news to me, at the college level at least. It's amazing to see his growth, though, and his maturation. You could tell he's got a swagger to himself. I mean, a little bit. I don't want to say he's like you, but he's kind of like you. Like, he's got an edge, but he's got a little bit of a swagger at the same time. And I think that's necessary as you're kind of building a program to have a guy that's like, I don't care what anyone says, we're going to go get it done. So how has he kind of taken on your personality over the last 12 months and change?
Yeah, I think I've taken on his. I think he's taken on mine. I think we talk about this a lot in terms of people ask quarterback play. I've had two good ones in the past. Now, Sam, what is that? And I said the biggest thing to do is listen. All a quarterback wants is input. A quarterback wants to feel comfortable back there. So my job is to make him feel comfortable. Where is his comfort zone? Competition. People talking crap to him on the practice field. He grew up with his brother who played safety in the NFL and his dad who played at BYU, talking crap and beating him in bags and beating him in every card game at home. He wants competition. He wants hostile. He needs it. So that's what I provide. Talk crap to him all practice. I provide the hostility. And at the same time, you can have fun doing it.
Yeah.
You can enjoy the competition of that. And then we get together and we talk through plays, and he likes things, he doesn't like things. We take out the things that I like that he doesn't. Because at the end of the day, he's got to take the snap and he's got to make the plays. Doesn't matter what I like, it matters what he likes.
You know, for the past, 20, 30 years, we all grew up in Scottsdale. We all went out there, and we what's the one thing people said about Arizona State football? It's a sleeping giant. And there was sustained success for a couple of years when Bruce Snyder was there, and he took Jake Plummer in there to the Rose Bowl. Then it fell off, then it went up, then it fell off, then it went up. Now is the pressure, Kenny, of keeping the giant awake and just dismissing that conversation. How much of a challenge is that to sustain now what you've proven could be done in Tempe?
It's never been done. Anything that's never been done is challenging.
Yeah.
So we're embarking on a journey of something that's never been done in the history of the institution.
Right.
And that's what makes it fun. Why would you want to do something that's been done over and over again and insert yourself into a system that you already know the result, which is college football? Most people insert themselves into a system where you already know the result, or you're within one game of the result. I can predict your 4-year career within 4 games of your win-loss record before you play it down. Your value to that place is minimal. Where can you go and stamp yourself in history? We can be a part of something that's never been done.
Yeah.
And we can do it in a hometown, in an unbelievable city. Our guys can learn how to golf, which they're doing, right? And they can do it while having fun, because that's the culture environment, and that's the goal, that's the vision.
So, Coach, to build that culture and to sustain that, you win championships. And we all know, Sam Leavitt, Jordan Tyson, these offensive pieces, they've been talked about a lot in this offseason, and rightfully so. But we know that defense wins championships, and that's how you can travel and play consistent football. You return a couple all-conference guys over there, and with Brian Ward as your defensive coordinator, you guys just keep getting better and better. Talk a little bit about that side of the ball.
Yeah, I love our defense. We return, 9/10 starters, depending on how you view it. Back from last year's team. Our defensive ends, we struggled in pass rush. They both gained over 15 pounds this offseason. 3-year starters for us. We return our entire back end but our nickel. Return our linebacking core. So I feel really good about how we're going to be able to evolve and change. We're a 3-week team. Everybody knows it. Everybody's going to run all the 3-week beaters they could possibly run over and over again. But we struggled when we got teams into passing downs. So we've worked all offseason on how to create pressure on the quarterback, how to create matchups with the fronts, and how to move the fronts around. So that's what I'm excited about. I'm excited to see the changes and the tweaks that we've made that these guys have bought into to make us better than last year.
Look, you wouldn't be, we've talked about this before, but my phone blew up yesterday when the new Adidas uniforms came out and Sparky's back on the home lid. So on behalf of college football fans and everyone, oh, look at that.
Sparky's back.
We got to take
Sparky's
a shot.
back.
I mean, he's got Sparky inside the blade. We are full
So
Sparky on the helmet. So on behalf of college football fans everywhere, especially Sun Devil Sparky back, Kenny, good luck this season. Continued success. Don't let the giant go back. I don't want to hear that again, the sleeping giant. But a big part of that is going to be the return of their star receiver. For more on that, let's go over to Katie.
Thanks, Matt. I just learned something new about Jordan Tyson. Yes, he was Big 12 Offensive Newcomer of the Year after an incredible season. But you scream kind of like a girl. You sounded like Michael Jackson. He just did a promo for the Big 12. Full uniform. It's on Instagram, so go check it out. Sun Devils Football on Instagram. What was that scream about?
So basically during the whole season, whenever I score a touchdown or do something good, me and some of the guys would just come up and do the girliest scream we could, while we're flexing like some big guys. So that was just something we did during the season, and I kind of just brought it here.
Yeah, he's deep in the comments now. A lot of laughter, that's for sure. Obviously, Jordan, last year was so much fun to be a part of, I'm sure. I know it didn't end the way that you wanted, given the collarbone injury right before the Big 12 title game. But just how would you describe last season overall for this team?
It was amazing. I think we just have a group of guys that love each other, and we made some things work. The collarbone thing, that happened. I think everything happens for a reason. I'm a big believer in that. I had the knee injury too, so I kind of already got a feel for how injuries were, so I didn't let my mental go. I kept my physical up, so yeah, I feel like I responded way better.
When you think back to missing the Big 12 title game and then ultimately the Peach Bowl as well against Texas, were there any lessons that you learned during your time out of the game?
Oh, for sure. I learned that I'm really stronger than I think. I learned that I can really face everything full head of steam and be perfectly fine. So I learned I can come back from anything, and shoot, that's just a testament to everybody on that team for real.
I had the luxury of covering the Peach Bowl down in Atlanta. That second half comeback was unbelievable. It was an instant classic just in terms of college football games. What do you think that says about this team's culture and the culture that Kenny Dillingham has helped create, given the way that you guys were able to respond in that second half against Texas?
That's all Kenny talks about is response. Last year we had to respond to failure, us being last on the totem pole. Now this year we got to respond to success, us being first on the totem pole. So just responding to everything.
You guys say goodbye, obviously, to Cam Scatterbo, but you return quarterback Sam Leavitt. How would you describe your relationship with your QB and the chemistry that you guys have on the field? Because it's apparent to us watching.
Yeah, definitely. Just two guys that have a good feel for ball. We compete at everything. We don't like to lose, so we're just very similar in a lot of ways. So yeah, it just works out on the field.
Speaking of that competition, who's the better basketball player?
Oh, me for sure.
For sure.
Hands down.
Hands down. Okay. Well, I wish you the best of luck this season, Jordan. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, best of luck. All right, let's send it over to Greg McElroy, who is with, in fact, Sam Leavitt. Greg?
Sam Leavitt, the preseason Offensive Player of the Year here in the Big 12, and rightfully so. What a great year you had last year. Coach Dillingham said that he likes to kind of fire you up by being hostile. And he was literally just talking smack about you on camera. What's the deal here, man? Walk me through it.
Yeah, I mean, me and him, he likes to think I'm a pretty cocky person, so he's always trying to rile me up and do something to make me mad, and in practice during routes on air, he's saying I'm going to throw a bad ball. During team, he's going to say I'm going to throw a pick, and I turn around, I'll blow him a kiss or something, or say I thought I was supposed to play bad today, after a good day. So it's just a friendly competition, and gives me a little bit extra juice during practice.
Well, it's amazing to watch the growth and maturation from last year, kind of where things were, how you were kind of inserted into the offense, and then as kind of time went along, you were asked to do more, and then just elevate your play as the season went along. How much more confident are you this year heading into the season knowing you are the undisputed dude and knowing how high that ceiling became at the end of the year?
Yeah, I mean, just from the beginning of the year to the end, I feel like my progress was night and day. And, I don't know if it was necessarily my knowledge of the game got so much greater. I definitely grew a little bit, but it's comfortability within playing the game. Under that stage, commanding an offense, things along those lines. So now the fact that that's the base, it's just going to be an ascending trajectory from there. And just all the guys who are going to be bought into me and listen to me when I say things, and the checks that I'm going to get to and command of the offense. I'm really excited just to run the show.
Well, it's going to be awesome, man. Look forward to it. We got some plays that we pulled. This is from the Big 12 title game a year ago. Really nice game for you. And I want to look at this first one. This is so much of what y'all do. A little misdirection, utilizing your skill set as an athlete, as a guy that can run. Just stretch zone is the look. Out, but you actually go with a little bit boot naked. But what I love most about this is how you could take the underneath guy. You could. And I don't think anyone would fault you for doing that. Instead, you try to decide to hold on it just a little bit longer. You bait that flat defender to come up just a bit to buy a little time to get it over the top, man. What are you thinking about here?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to the wide view again, I come out and I can't remember if they're in quarters or thrhy high. I just know the flat defender is going to be the nickel. So I'm really just high-low off him, make sure the corner's high. And I told Melquan to take it high over him. So, I know that he's going to do his job and just come out, and I try to pull him down on the slide. And, we end up making a pretty explosive play early on in the game.
It was a fantastic play. I mean, one that was just an absolute beauty. I love this next play as well, because this is a really nice fake, kind of throw things off the back foot. This is 4th and 1. I imagine you probably remember the play, right?
Oh, yeah.
4th and 1. Everybody in the world is thinking Scatterbo here.
Yeah.
Like all day long, including every single one of these defenders. Watch the reaction over the top by the defenders and how you're able to just sneak one right off the back foot. But you do have some internal pressure. You had to kind of throw a fadeaway jumper, man. Walk me through it.
Yeah, so we're in 12 personnel, but it's heavy. We got a lineman in playing tight end, and we motion him in. And, when we've done that throughout the course of the year, we've just kind of gave to Scat. We're running a guard pull power play here. So I'm just really trying to sell the fake, and our slot receiver is just going to go up and kind of fake block and then run by the safety. So I just got to pull the safety down enough and let him get some separation and let him run under it. Great play call on the situation.
Is that one where the guy's like a little bit too open? You know what I mean? Like,
for
it's
sure.
the worst feeling.
You just don't
I
want to
wish he was a
overthrow
little
him.
covered. You know what I mean? Like, just make it a little bit more challenging. He's a little too wide open. This last one I thought was maybe the throw of the game. And people are going to look at it, and those that are unaware are going to sit there and say, all right, it's like a little slap fade. It's no problem. You have 8 yards to work with right now. You're at the 8-yard line, which means you got to get the ball up and down to the back corner of the end zone really, really quickly, and you do it really well. And your trajectory is kind of flat, but with enough to get it over the defender. This is an unbelievable throw, dude.
Yeah, we came out and we actually put this run plan for this 3-down front, and we call it a Cuban. It's counter, but we're pulling an extra guy, so we got 3 guys pulling. We have a man zone alert to the field. We're running a slot fade from our slot, and I told him just all week just to run to the corner, and I was going to put it out there for him, whether it was going to be back shoulder or under. I just told him adjust to the ball. So I liked the matchup, and I just let it fly and trusted my guy, put it in a spot.
It was a great throw, and I think, too, it's getting it up and down that quickly to the wide side of the field from the left hash. That takes a long time for the ball to get there. You placed it perfectly over the top. Most guys are throwing back shoulder there. He's going to run out of room.
Yeah, you got to get it up quick.
You threw it over
sure.
the top. I don't know how you cover it. I don't know how you do it, man.
No doubt.
I know plenty more of those great plays coming up for you this year, man. Best of luck, and we're looking forward to watching.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
All right.